I don't know about you guys. I've had a good week. I've been off. Home news. I got so much.
Home news.
You're just going straight
Home
for
news.
it.
You just go straight into
Oh,
home news.
news.
Crazy.
If you're gonna do it, I'm just gonna clap it, right?
I didn't do it. I didn't hear you clap though. I'm just
What?
saying. Maybe I'm clap deaf at the moment. That's what I'm
Clap
not
deaf?
hearing. But
You got the
clap
clap.
deaf.
Isn't that
It's-
something you can catch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're not careful,
Clap deaf.
you get the clap. You die from the clap. Anyway, it's been hot as hell in the UK, which probably means
as
for most
balls.
people,
Yeah.
it's not that hot.
No,
But
it is hot.
It's been really
humid.
hot. It's hot and wet.
It's
London.
close.
Sticky.
As my mum would say.
It's been raining.
It's
and then
close,
it's
yeah.
been really sunny.
I said
There's a lot
that.
of moisture in the air.
I said that. I said to Faye, "Oh, it's well close," and she said, "Well, how old are you? You sound like an old person." I was like,
An old
"Oh,
man.
sorry,
British term, isn't
it's sticky."
It is. It's. I would not describe it necessarily as that pleasant. It's almost too hot. But
Yeah, it's just shit, sweaty weather. I went golf.
It's not even that hot though, is it? It's like 25 degrees.
No, but it's not about it's just how close it is. You know, it's just you know, it's like tropical weather ish. You know what I mean?
is. It's like we're in the
mm.
tropics. That's exactly how I describe it. Yeah.
But I went golfing yesterday because it was Father's Day.
Did you get a birdie?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I knew, and I was very proud of that. That was my home news. I got a birdie. Trip, do you know what a birdie is in golf?
Yeah, it's 1 under par.
Hey,
The secret goal.
I
Oh,
literally.
that's very common knowledge.
Oh, well, it's not because I said that. I don't know. Yeah, 1 under par. Par is if you go on a thing on the course, it will say
What's 2 under par?
An eagle.
an eagle.
And what's 3 under par?
An
But-
albatross.
Yeah, nice one, Sam.
I didn't know that.
That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, I didn't know. that.
I've played Wii golf.
Ah, there it
There
is.
we are.
Yeah.
Now we know.
There we go. All right, so this was a par 4, and I got it in
Ooh.
3.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Like, it was.
That's
I drove the shit out of that ball.
Now, Hamish, are you a sensible? Do you take the driver off every tee basically, or do you play it sensible and get like the 5-iron out at some point, or
Well, it all depends.
obviously not par 3, obviously, but
No. I mean, it all depends. Because there's our local course in Pytchley. There's one. There's 2 holes that are really short. If I just took the driver out, I'm just like.
no. I mean, I more meant that. Do you ever have just? I mean, I have a bad day with the driver every day I play golf, but I still refuse
Oh
to put
no!
it away in
The
the bag,
driver
like-
is the reason I play golf.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, if you want to, if you got a big open field, I mean, you just want to smash the fuck out of that ball, right?
You do,
And
you're right.
you do. You just want to smash the fuck out.
Not
of it.
wrong.
And then it will fly off, hopefully straight. And
No, never straight.
never. Are you a slicer?
I'm a slicer.
Do you slice it to the right?
That is a slice, yeah. If you're a right-hander, slice to the right.
Yeah.
Hook it to the left.
Hook it to the left. There you go. Well, anyway, that's what I did, and it wasn't hot. It was cloudy, right? But it was so sweaty. I came out with sunburn, and you can see just here.
Oh, I can see the tan
Oh,
line.
there's a good tan
Yeah,
line.
that was a.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
really
how
bad.
do
Cloudy weather is the one to beware, man. Like cloudy,
Yeah, that's
windy weather where it's quite warm is the one to watch out for sunburn.
Especially
That
if
is
you're at the
killer.
beach.
Yeah,
if
if
you go
you
in the
pop
sea,
for the
you're like-
Spotify, basically I've got an amazing little white patch just where I take my hat off, and then
There you go,
Faye was
hat.
just like, it's like, oh god.
Amazing.
When I went on holiday, I actually had glasses.
Oh,
Yeah, that was bad.
stunning.
Yeah,
That's why I never take my glasses off, so I don't have to worry about my glasses tan.
there you go. That was my home news.
Have you ever had a beard tan?
a beard tan?
Have you ever like grown a bit more than stubble and then decided to shave it off and then you've got like a mark? where
I
you've had a
haven't.
beard?
I haven't took off this beard. COVID was the last time I was boredom.
Yeah.
And you guys have never seen it, and I haven't seen.
No.
No, you've never seen it. But I have this to show that I have a chin. Because if I get rid of this, you see the second and third one.
Oh, I see. Nice.
I look like Ed from Ed, Edd and Eddy. You know, it's just this.
Oh,
just
God.
yeah, I know.
Maybe we'll get you to shave it off for charity at some point. That would be good.
A lot of money needs to be made.
A lot of money.
A
yeah.
lot of money to get rid of that. It's like saying, Simon, do you want to get rid of your mustache for charity?
I wouldn't. That would be sad. I think we'd all just
What?
be sad.
How-
if you did
why would-
that.
I used to
You
have a
could get
beard.
that back.
I used to have a beard, and then I had to shave it off for working in Canada because you have to be fitted for a respirator whenever you change employer out there.
Right.
So that was the first time I'd seen myself without a beard for over 10 years. My children cried when they saw me, and Nikki laughed.
Of course.
And so then I grew the beard straight back. And then 9 months later, COVID hit, and I had to I had to think about shaving it off again. So the respirator would actually fit the one I'd been tested for. So I did that thing where you just shave off a bit at a time, and come out the bathroom every 5 minutes, like, what do you think? And Nikki was like, no. And then I came out with a short, like really short mustache and this thing. And she was like, oh, that's fine. I was like, yes, I can keep some facial hair. 'Cause
What?
it fits within a respirator.
Oh, okay. So what do you mean? Who gave you the thumbs up to say that's fine?
Nikki,
Nikki. You but
boss. The
oh,
boss.
I was gonna say
No,
like
my wife,
yeah.
Nikki, the boss.
Oh, but wait a minute. Why is she in charge of the respirator?
She's not, but
I thought that was
She's
the whole
the one
point
that
of getting rid of
decides
it.
the one-
she's the one that's in charge of
Your
how I look
looks,
in
yeah.
public.
Does she dress you? Simon, you're wearing these today. But
no.
Nikki, you told me I'm allowed to pick my boxers.
I just wear plain t-shirt and shorts, and then I'm fine. That's fine.
Yeah, okay.
And if you see me at a Flesh and Blood event, you'll see me in a charity shirt, a charity shop bought Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah, it's my lucky shirt.
Nikki approved, of course.
That
Yeah.
Nikki probably bought, actually. She
Yeah.
loves a charity shop bargain. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Anyway,
Yeah, and what about you, Trip? What's your home news? We haven't done beer.
Well-
God, we feel thrown off.
we do home news before beer these days. They're not
That's
sure
true.
I'm
These
I
days.
agree with that.
These
but-
days.
Yeah, home news is good. I had the week off work, so I did some house stuff. I did some gardening. I won't go into too much detail about that. We will bring back
World.
we'll bring back Gardener's Corner or Gardener's World, whatever it's called. Mostly weeding and planting stuff. Did some nice walks. I was going to go through all my fab cards and try and organize them because I have.
What do you mean try and organise them?
I
Where
don't
are they
really
now,
have
Chris?
a organization method at the moment. They are
No.
mostly in boxes.
I can guarantee
The one
I'm
that-
worse than you, Trip.
Yeah, at least I have some folders with the expensive cards in.
Okay.
But for a long time, I had all my Monarch legendaries were just in a tin for a bit,
Oh.
which is a lot of
My-
cold foil.
a
so,
lot of mine were
yeah.
just. I had this blue
Yeah.
box, and I just had. Oh, these are the good shit goes in here. But I actually have a first edition Crucible War box that is
Yeah.
haggard to shit. But my important cards are in a top loader, and they just live in there because in my head I'm
Oh.
like, oh, if I put them in the binder, I have to bend. You know, you never know. But if I put them in the top loader and leave them in a bit of a loose box, they're never going to get bent, and they're out of the sunlight. So technically, is that better?
Yeah. When I opened that Rainbow Foil tunic the other day, I just left it in the box for about a month because I just was like, oh, I'll put it away
forget about
later.
it.
Oh,
And I was
Trip,
like,
that's
oh,
so
I
you.
I put it in a sleeve now. Now it's in my deck because I was like, I don't want to sell it because it's so convenient having two tunics.
You wanna
just don't
see
have
something really
reach around
sad?
it.
Yes.
Are we going to see your sorting system?
Oh no, the saddest thing I saw Simon do. What the hell is that? Oh,
What is
okay,
that?
okay.
Is
Podcast.
that a
Simon,
briefcase?
explain what it is. It's just,
That is a fireproof security box that will give it half an hour if it gets caught in a fire.
Half an hour?
Yeah.
mate.
That's nowhere near.
No, that's not. No,
It's
I'm not
enough to get it
I'm not
out.
gonna lie, Simon.
If the room is on fire, half an hour is not going to make
no, you're gonna be.
It might be.
I'm not
It
lying.
might be an hour. I inherited that.
Oh, okay.
But,
Well, okay,
it
but
might be an hour.
I would
but,
want a
yeah,
box that would
most
never
fire-safe boxes
Yeah.
are not like they're not fireproof. They just give you a delay so that your stuff is safe for the first like half an hour to an hour, so that you can get it out.
If
This
it's
one-
No, but
obviously-
Simon, if your house is on fire in 10 minutes, you're never returning to your house because
Well,
you would
exactly,
die.
yeah.
you,
when the fireman comes and you're like, "Excuse me, sir, could you get my box of cards
Yeah,
from my study,
look-
please?"
Yeah, yeah.
I know that you're.
Not-
I know the staff
not being funny,
safety
but
is
it's
one
worth quite a
thing.
bit of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about anything. Get that Xbox now. What about the staff? I mean, it's worth. That's what your job is. Get my cards. You've got 10 minutes because you're
Right,
10 minutes late.
Any listeners, if you have a fireproof / fire safe
Comment
box
below.
or safe that you keep
I
valuables
can
in,
imagine
let us
Simon
know.
with his timer on his phone going, "Oh my
Jeez.
god, there's 3 minutes left of the box."
It's not just fire, obviously; it's heat damage as well.
Oh yeah.
The other thing I wanted to talk
I put mine in a box that will light up quicker.
We're just gonna talk about boxes. Let's not get stuck on boxes.
I love it. This is
anyway, because I want to get to the bit where we can actually have a drink.
Yeah,
So I wanted to
sorry.
say the other thing we did this week was that we did a bit of recording of classic battles, which I wanted to shout out. So
yes.
I recorded with Hamish and with Simon, and Hamish and Simon recorded together. So video came out. It would still be last week at this point. Bolton versus Rhino, which I recommended. As a recurring theme on those videos is that the people that played in them keep writing really good comments on the videos. So I've been trying to pin the comments of the players who are kind of explaining a bit their thought processes. So I recommend checking out that video if you haven't already. And there's probably another one up by now as well. So go to the Push the Point YouTube channel to check out those videos. But shall we move to drinks? Or
Hamish. What are you drinking, good sir?
Oh, well, Mr. Firebox, I have another Siren, but this is a Zigzag California IPA.
Ooh,
I don't know
nice artwork.
It is cool, isn't it? I don't know what a Zigzag is, but there you go. And I've also got a Protocol. There's another Siren, Protocol, double digits Dipper.
Oh,
Big Dipper.
A double digits dipper made with whatever. Anyway, that's what I've got. What about you? What about you, Safety Box, Simon?
Safety Box Simon. I'm going to be drinking this Shadowmaker.
Ooh.
And I'm drinking it for a reason. It's a dry Irish stout.
Because you wanted to, or did Nikki tell you can have it?
No, because I'm going to Ireland tomorrow.
Oh, are you?
Hey!
I'm going on a
Top of
work
the morning to you.
conference / drinking trip.
Incredible, Hamish.
Hamish
that
is
one goes
just
down.
irritated.
Thank you to all our Irish listeners out there.
Apologies, we just lost every Irish listener now.
We do have some as well. Some that I know personally. They're friends of mine. So.
Does he actually listen?
I'm drinking.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Drinking a dry Irish stout. It doesn't look very dry. Trip, what are you drinking?
Oh wait, hang on. Whoa. You got to give him the nickname, right? It's Legolas, Louis Theroux.
You got to come up with one of my many monikers.
Wild card.
All right,
son of
Mr. White.
It is quite wild card because again,
I'm not. Card. Shit, I forgot about that one.
I'm not drinking a beer. I have a bottle of white wine.
Oh wow, that is wild card.
It's a Naked Wines.
It is a Naked Wines. It's a South African.
What's that?
Arabella.
What's a Naked Wines?
Arabella. It's just a company where you get wine.
How does Simon know with minimal view of what it is?
Yeah,
because I too used to drink Naked Wines.
Subtle flavors of lemon and
Did you just lick your can? That was so quick.
He's a can licker. So I thought I'd go white wine.
I just found my new YouTube short. I just want Simon just pick his can up and lick it.
Wait,
it's like, you know when you catch someone picking their nose?
What? It was dripping.
I was dripping. Anyway,
I missed that. Right? I'm sure it was great.
Well, you're gonna see this on a YouTube short for sure.
I can't wait to catch that YouTube short on the Push the Point YouTube channel.
Anyway, all right, let's get going.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Sorry. God, Simon.
Cheers.
Okay.
I'm having a day of it today.
Oh, mate,
you can tell I've been at work for 12, 13 hours.
I know, you're licking your can.
Can liquor.
Can liquor. So.
Safety Box can liquor.
Simon, what are we talking about today?
Nikki approved.
What are we talking about today? I love how Hamish is like every opportunity. He's like, Nikki approved, when we all know Faye is exactly the same.
Hang on, she doesn't dress me.
Nikki doesn't dress me.
Well, she did.
She just chooses your facial hair, Simon.
Yeah,
Look,
exactly.
I'm going to touch on this just slightly again, right? Your whole point of you shaving your face was for a respirator. Right. And so surely the person who is in charge of that has got to say, you are allowed this.
Yeah, well, you know the parameters that you're allowed. Like, this is where the respirator fits, right?
Yeah.
So you can have any facial hair that fits within that or outside of that, but not on the line of where the rubber seal fits.
So when you were
right?
removing bits, I was just like, well, surely there's an area, right?
Yeah, but you're not going to just have like, I mean, I did try it, but it looked terrible. Just the mutton chops with a gap and then the beard with the goatee, like just shave like...
You're just a line for where the seal
I
goes.
thought you'd be like this, you know, you just Just have that bit.
You could do that. You could.
Well, you could have a Walter White, couldn't you?
You could do a Craig David. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't do any of
But
that.
I mean, as much as I would like to think that my facial hair is my own responsibility,
I'm
and
drinking
of
again.
course it really is.
You haven't even opened the can. What's wrong with you guys?
I'm literally.
You're a can licker.
You got a can licker
I'm a can
and
sucker.
can sucker.
Oh my god, what am I doing?
Oh,
I haven't even got a
Simon,
can.
what are we talking about today apart from your
Right.
face?
You've poured a drink and you were just drinking
know,
out of the other
I
can.
know.
What is wrong with you?
I know, I just picked this up and. Right.
Oh wait a second.
I haven't done that in years.
This is gonna be good.
You're
sorry,
gonna be pouring out on your head.
It's gonna be good for the shorts this episode.
This is going to be a great one for the Spotify audience. I have no idea what the hell's going on.
We
I'm sorry.
we're gonna quickly touch on the grind. that
Simon's
occurred last
grind.
week.
Simon.
I should have mentioned this in home news, but I
How
wanted to
did
save
it go? Should we just straight
We
up?
just get it out of the way, like a
Has
like a
Simon
plaster.
qualified? for
Did
UK
Simon
national?
qualify? Drum roll.
Yay!
Yay! He did it.
He did it.
I got 78 experience points in a week.
That's insane.
Well,
That's actually insane. 2 weeks, about 10
8
days.
and a half
right?
days. Yeah.
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 So I got
actually
26 official qualifying wins in 8.5 days.
I will
Yeah,
say.
and it was
Oh, go on.
a legit grind, wasn't it? Like you
was
were
fun.
playing at 1 a.m. You were playing
Yeah.
online.
I played
And
2
winning as well,
events at 1 a.m. I played 3 other online armories. I played a long form online event that I had been in for a couple of weeks beforehand, and I played 3 local armories.
And you won some of them.
Yeah,
Man, that field must have been soft. I'm joking.
yeah, man, absolutely.
Well, it,
I
was
enjoyed it.
it was everybody that hadn't qualified, right?
I'm joking. No, but the one. So I will say
Yeah.
one of the fun ones I saw was when you were. It was the last one you did. It was the play.
Oh, it was the
Yeah.
organized play EU.
yeah, that's it. And I heard the countdown. I heard Nikki give the kids a countdown.
Oh yeah, you did
my
mention that on the chat.
days.
Right,
Faye
they
was
were
me-
not having fun.
No, I can tell. Faye was watching. I said, Faye, it's, Simon's kids on. She's like, oh, I'm going to watch this now. So we were just sort of dipping in. And he was like, oh, it sounds really cute. And I said, oh, shit. It's bad news. She's like, why? Nikki's counting to 5.
Countdown.
Right, that's it.
So for the first
5, 4, and then you hear this. And I was like, oh,
Yeah,
I know
for the
this.
first hour and a half of that, it was just me and my little boy, and he was okay for about 25 minutes, and then he just, like as a 4-year-old does, he just
Yeah.
got bored and
Yeah.
went and wanted me to do other things with him, and I was being a terrible parent and playing cards instead.
Mate, you fab dabbing.
Fab
Bad
dadding.
dadding. Yeah,
Hashtag
bad
fab
dadding.
dadding.
Yeah.
And then Nikki got back, and all hell broke loose. So
Yeah,
win some, you lose some.
that's it.
However, I did enjoy getting back to the grind. It reminded me of the early days of online armories, playing webcam, meeting some incredible people from the States and Europe, and playing some incredible players. And the last game I played was on stream, and it was the final of the Organised Play EU, and it was against our good podcast friend Yorgos.
Oh, I loved
Yeah.
it. I didn't even know it was him, and I heard the voice, and I was like, "Oh my god, I am
that
9 times out of 10 sure that is Yorgos." So I just put, "Is this
9
Yorgos?"
times
And
out of
it
10.
is. Not what? 9 out of 10. Excuse me.
Oh,
That
wow!
Yeah, he's got a
So
very
that was really
distinctive
fun. Getting up at 1 a.m. to play armories was not so fun, but I was like sat here in my office. And I'm like, I'm really sorry, but I have to talk really quietly because everyone in my house is asleep. And I had to crack on and get that done. And I think I got
You
6
smashed it. There was some
6
people.
or
Yeah,
so
absolutely
wins.
smashed it.
There was some
ridiculous
people
times of nights
chilling, and then you were like just jogging past them. Yeah, I was like,
I mean,
I didn't realize. I thought it was going to be tight, and yours was not even close. You're
There
like,
were
oh,
some
well,
people that we know that were like, "Oh, I've got X amount of points. I'm in this place, and I'll be fine with a week to go." And I was like, "Yeah, but I'm thinking to myself, I think I can get to that XP amount if I win enough, I can do that.
Yeah.
And then they got a bit tense. They had to go and play another Armory on the last qualifying day as well, just to try and
Did the
make
Tuesday
themselves
count?
feel a bit more comfortable. Tuesday did not count to the final standings,
Oh, wow.
unfortunately.
I think that was a bit. Yeah, it was really weird. Anyway, who cares? It's over now. So well
Yeah.
done, everyone that made it.
Yeah,
well
we all
done.
made it
That
as
was
well,
super fun.
which is great because it would have been a bit.
I had
we weren't-
2 shots.
Yeah,
Did it in my first try. Got a bullseye.
yeah, you did, and then we all got in. Like
We did all get
me and
in.
Simon on
One-
XP. Mine was a
by
bit,
one way or another.
It wasn't
was a
last
bit higher
year's.
up than you.
It wasn't last year's total all win. It was a bit
No.
of a. It was.
No, none of us won one this time.
It was dicey.
Yeah.
It was really dicey. Any person wasn't dicey for was your trip. I think you were kind of.
I
you were
felt pretty
comfy.
comfortable. I got 2 top 8s, so I was pretty happy just riding the XP train at that point because I was like, oh, I can probably be enough. But like Simon was saying, like a lot of people did a lot
Yeah.
of grinding and sort of took their foot off the pedal and weren't quite high enough. I was saying 200 XP is
Yeah.
how much I wanted, and that ended up being almost
Yeah,
bang on
bang
what you
on.
needed. So
Mm.
I was like, I'm not going to settle until I got 200 XP in. Once I
But we did say last podcast, sorry, didn't we, that I think you have to take the skirmish season before the
Yeah.
RTN season a lot more seriously now, because
Oh, it's
that is
huge.
going to be one of the main aspects of qualifying for Nats if it's going to be in the XP window.
I think this is the last year that it's going to be like people aren't going to be tuned into it. I think from
Yeah.
next year onwards,
It'll be a lot more competitive or skirmish season.
I think last year people sort of were like, "Oh, we're getting on RTN,"
Yeah.
and it wasn't quite as big. And now, even with the increase to 128 places, I think people are going to take the sort of 3-month
Yeah.
period from sort of March to July.
Yeah, I'm
March to
looking.
June, sorry, really seriously now.
I'm looking at that skirmish season when you know there's an RTN coming up and going, yeah, I'm just going to rock up to some of them and just treat that as getting some XP
Yeah.
in. Because, I mean, even now, I'm like, after I did all my stuff, it's surprising how I jumped 200 spots, but, you know, I was 450th and then I became 250th. It doesn't take much. I know that there's like near the
there was
top,
a lot
it
of
takes
clustering.
a lot.
There's a lot of clustering around. Well, I mean, even from my grind, you could see that actually 2 or 3 wins can make a massive difference in terms of the leaderboard.
Yeah, most of the time people are just like 6 points ahead of you.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, that's just 2 wins, right?
So what I enjoyed most, I think, about the grind was just absolutely jumping headlong into Katsu and playing it regularly and playing it competitively.
Do you think you're a better Katsu player now than when you went into the RTN?
I mean, I think 30 odd games in a week is going to make you a better player, whatever hero you play, right?
Yeah.
But it was the fact that they were all competitive and they were all meant something, because a lot of the people that were grinding a lot of the people that were on these online events were people that were grinding. Sorry, so it was good. It was a good standard of play, and it allowed me to explore different lines and different options and play against what was probably going to be the meta for until Dusk Till Dawn comes out.
It's the meta for 1 or 2
yeah, that's what I mean.
callings
Until
that are happening somewhere, but it's
So Oldham was very seldom seen.
Yeah.
But Azuri and Lexi were out battling each other, and Katsu can take advantage of that, I think, because Katsu has a reasonable matchup into Azuri and a reasonable matchup into Lexi. I wouldn't say either of them are particularly strongly favoured or vice versa, but he can deal with both of them, and Lexi really can't deal with Azuri that well.
No, but it's kind of weird because I don't really care. That's probably like the long and short of it.
For now, though, I think
because
Katsu's
I'm
in a
not
good
in
spot.
it. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
quite happy with that.
It'd be cool. It's just Dusk Till Dawn. It's just like that whole. You could do all this, but it's just there's 200 cards coming like in a couple of weeks. So I'm like,
and no real ninja cards. I don't think so. Unless there's some good generics.
No, I don't think we're going to see I don't think we'll see a Katsu specialization like we have for the other heroes. I think Katsu got his specialization.
Well, with the in the Outsiders release,
it was just one Floating Dojo.
Yeah.
With Dusk Till Dawn, though, they've already said it's going to be the light versus shadow, right? So we've got what seems to be the specializations that have come out so far are the Solana and Aria crew.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
And then we're going to have the Demonastery crew, which is the opposition. I don't think we're
But they're
straying
not
into
really
spoiler
united,
territory
are
now,
they?
but they're not going to be Unity, are they? They're
No,
going
they're
to be
all about
something else.
power. It's all about seldom power.
They're going to be something else. So you've got these two groups. This is a completely different arc, although in parallel to the Outsiders storyline, or maybe a little bit further on than the Outsiders storyline and the Volcor storyline. So this is a parallel entry into the lore of Wraith, but I think this is it's a pretty cool way of telling the story through the set.
Yeah.
Having this as part of a trilogy of the war.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. I think I had this really cool idea that wouldn't it be awesome if Worlds, which I don't think will be the case because I think another standalone set is coming out before Worlds, because that'll be the booster for Worlds. But
Yes.
wouldn't it have been really cool if the outcome of Worlds also dictated the outcome of like a battle?
You've said this a couple of times, haven't you? Like you
Have
like
I?
the idea.
I
No,
think I've
sorry.
said this.
I think-
Sorry,
Yeah,
Trip said this.
Yeah.
You like the idea where the tournament results can be written into the lore of the game.
Yeah, because I don't think they've even worked on the third set for the Monarch, right? So they could just turn around and go, oh, this 12-hour period of this battle could then sort of just shape the direction on what that outcome was of where did Shadow actually kick the crap out of Soul, and then that next set would actually be a whole, set around that, or if Light beat Soul back, then that set would have a lot more cards. He doesn't even need to change like mechanically, just thematically.
Yeah.
Like the
I think
artwork.
just affecting the lore would be really good, because they've had some really impactful heroes living Legend out. Some heroes that have a lot of lore around them in terms of Viserai in Blitz and Chain and Prism in CC, and they didn't really make any
thing about
like lore content to go with it. But it would have been such a good story, because like young Viserai leaving, you could have done something really interesting with that, like a backstory, like even just more of a backstory for Viserai would have been cool.
Well, I thought even just Chain leaving, because Chain was like leading the way against the fight against Solana, and now he just kind of is in this, and it's just like, all right, cool, we've got Vincent coming.
Yeah,
she's got this thing. I assume Levia's just in the battle, right? Whatever. Chain, man, and was like, yeah, man, he's on annual leave.
Yeah, where's Chain? Maybe Chain. Maybe we'll get
for the lore. He might not be.
No, but why would he? It just seems very weird that the leader of the fight is just not present in this very crucial 12-hour fight battle thing.
Maybe he is. Maybe he is.
Maybe that he's like this secret.
Maybe we get
Maybe he's ascended. Yeah.
Maybe there is a new Chain in the set. They've just been hiding it.
Maybe.
Or
maybe he died, and in the third.
Chain's dead, mate. Yeah.
Maybe he died. Maybe there was a battle between, and I don't know. But all of that, I think that just harps back onto the fact that I think the Monarch storyline of this is the best one they've got.
But it's the most fleshed out one.
It's the most fleshed out, but you still just it's just their inherent problem again. Like, why? I suppose really we just don't know why Tales of Aria. We don't have a really good grounding of why these people are here, sort of.
Yeah.
And they're kind of jumped into it, which is really cool, but we don't really have a good groundwork with them.
And why are they joining forces with Solana? Like,
you know what I mean?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I think Monarch was the story they wanted to tell, and then they wanted to produce content around Tales, and they wanted to open up Aria as a location, and the same with Volcor as a location, and the same with the pits as a location. But to me, it seems that Monarch is the principal story of Flesh and Blood, and everything else is just is on the fringes. And obviously, it will all link up. And I'm sure, and we've seen Shyana going into Volcor, and that will all link back to Solana. But even when we're hearing about Volcor, they're using Shyana to link it back to this
conduit
against light and shadow, and that's clearly the main story that they want to tell, and that's why it's just a bit stronger, because it's clearly like that's the through line of the lore is this conflict.
But
I'm still wondering whether Solana is actually the good guy or not. Like,
Well, they probably
Oh,
are.
no.
Well, they probably are.
They are,
right?
but they're not. Like it's like, oh man, neither of you played Diablo. It's like the good guys are the bad guys.
No,
The
I
bad guys
know.
are also
Yeah.
the bad guys.
It's typical. It's
It's
typical.
like-
It's like the Space Marines. You know.
Everyone-
I
yeah,
mean,
everyone
they-
has
exactly-
it.
it's exactly like
they
that,
really
yeah.
are. They're not. They're scummy, but they're not devouring everything, and it doesn't look bad.
Exactly. It's the like classic thing where people are like, oh, the good guys are actually evil. It's like, yeah, but at least they're not like demonically sacrificing people and literally
Yeah.
like ripping their limbs off.
Yeah, that's
It's more of a
that's probably
mental thing.
Yeah,
I
I
mean, I'd forgotten that in the lore, like the lore recap, I thought from LSS,
Oh, that
this
was
week
really
a
good.
really good way.
Yeah.
It was a really good way of introducing people to stories they may have missed, and I had completely forgotten that the founder of the demonastery had basically like
Was
died
called
and
Solana.
got himself put into the
Well, they
bricks and
didn't.
mortar of the
Well, no,
monastery.
that actually fleshed that out even more because I jumped
Yeah.
back in and they really didn't actually give this dude a name, and then
Right.
then this little lore cap did just give that little
Yeah.
bit a bit more.
It was
But-
quite good.
But I think for a lot of people, it was and it isn't because I'm a Viserai fanboy, but the Viserai story was actually one of those
A really
stories
good
that
arc.
did tee
Yeah.
up Monarch really
did.
well because they
But also, he's still been left on a to be continued.
I know, I was
like,
just about to say,
you see-
to be
It's-
continued.
But he teed it up. He went, "Oh yeah, I killed my master, and I was
Yeah.
tricked into this, and I opened the gates of Arathriel, and then here's Monarch." You're like, "Oh my god, Monarch
Yeah.
is this thing." You're like, "Oh my god, these guys know what they're doing," and then it kind of went,
But that image
That was
with
it.
him walking towards the gates of Eathriel
yeah.
with his reaping blade is just an incredible
Yeah.
image, and, they've just not
Chain's
gone anywhere.
Story, they did a little bit of artwork.
Yeah.
They didn't draw him in the Visceral one, and then they
Yeah.
drew him in. But it was like, oh, he was there. He was the kind of the guy
Yeah.
that kind of strung up. And I was like, oh, that's just really cool. And then, yeah, Tales of Ara, everything else from that. And I suppose the biggest wind up in my head is Outsiders is cool. We did a really good job setting up Azuri. And we did,
Yeah.
Riptides is her minion. I get that. That's cool. But it's kind of
Second command.
Azuri. And then we're like, yeah, why is Katsu here?
Why is Katsu and Benji
Why is
here?
Katsu
Like,
here?
Why is
Yeah.
Katsu here? And it's like, yeah, he's looking
did you
for some
come from?
antidote for his people. Yeah, okay. But why is he here? Has he found it? Is he fought them? I mean, it's just, and I get it. If Katsu is the Wanderer, and they just go, "Oh, we're
just
going
turns
to the
up
Matrix," and here's Katsu. And you're like,
Matrix.
what's he doing? He's looking for his antidote still, mate. He's like, oh, okay. Is he just there? Yeah,
It's just everywhere.
Is he just there?
He's just wandering
It's like-
about.
Katsu, fart
I-
in the wind.
I, Lord of Wind.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to Dust of War. I think it's going to be an incredible
Oh, yeah.
expansion set. I think it's going to hinge around the lore though, and I think the
Perfect.
more they are able to tie it in with the story, the better. And we are seeing that with some of the spoiler cards and the Unity mechanic, and obviously each one is a specialization, but they're all slightly slightly different.
It's actually probably the most well put together supplementary set that they've done so far.
Maybe
I
we
mean,
haven't seen
I
anything more yet.
No,
we haven't
it.
seen much, but like for starting purposes, it's already strong.
I think
Yeah,
no. I
I
think
guess.
what we're seeing. I think what we're seeing is that LSS's preview game is getting stronger. Like
Yeah,
having
yeah, that-
having well-known players release cards that relate to the hero they're known for playing. I think that's a really good touch,
that was a cool
And it-
touch.
and it's keeping people interested in. Whereas they've tried longer spoiler seasons and everyone gets a bit burnt out. They've tried shorter spoiler seasons and everyone
Well,
gets a bit annoyed that it's
Talk
too
about
short.
spoilers. But
well,
I think this
right.
is if this is their new little thing, right?
And no,
They're keeping it real. Like, I'm not saying we should get one. Let's just assume we're never going to get one. But
no one's
let's
no
just
one's
Never
talking about it.
assume.
never
Never
assume
assume you're
we're
gonna
not
get
getting
one.
one. But for all the people that are, it takes a little bit of time if you really go at it to make a video, right? We've
Yeah.
got 2 weeks. I remember getting it 2 weeks ago and us going, right. And it took us to the wire for us to be happy. with it, and then we
You're
ship.
talking about our previous spoiler. For reference, Hamish is not saying we have a spoiler.
We haven't got anything yet, but I'm just saying for people that create content for spoilers, if their new direction is, can you whip something up in 5 minutes? Because it's starting to feel that way.
However, they have been doing their own LSS videos.
Yeah.
So the United We Stand video was bloody brilliant.
It was I'm not criticizing them. I'm just saying.
And it was released on IGN, which is going to get so much more publicity for the game.
Yeah, no, 100%. No, all those things are brilliant. It's that I'm not chipping in on that. I'm just saying that if they're doing the whole content creators from the game are going to get some cards, it's
Getting a bit late.
And the guy who
getting a
wrote
little bit
that
late.
IGN article used to play at Bad Moon Cafe.
Yeah.
Did he?
Down our
In
neck of the
London.
woods. Yeah, I remember meeting him a couple of times. He's now
Ryan.
moved back to Scotland. So Ryan, well done for getting that gig.
Oh,
Hopefully,
yeah.
I imagine he pitched it. Maybe. But
Yeah, I
I've
would
got to
imagine he's-
talk to LSS about it. But yeah, it was really cool.
Does he
to
work
see it
for
up on
IGN?
IGN. He's a like freelance writer for IGN.
Now,
so.
I'm sorry to cut you short there because I want to jump into something.
Well, we got some
before we
questions.
run
We
out
got some
of time.
questions as well.
Because-
We're blazing through. Yeah.
Because Hamish has set this up on Twitter as and our Discord as a mailbag episode, and we've touched
Yeah.
on something that there is a really relevant question for.
So we do a mailbag now.
We're going to jump
Mailbag.
right into mailbag.
Hold on.
Mailbag.
Do we need a jingle?
Mailbag.
Hold on. No.
Mailbag.
No, that's not a good one.
Just chant.
It's just going to be. I think this one's going to be a short one. Go get your mailbag. There you go.
That wasn't short at all.
Ah,
That was far too long.
Get your
What's
mailbag.
Get
All
in
right.
your mailbag.
Get
I
your
love Hamish's
mailbag,
voice.
boy.
They're starting to come out. He'd be great
Yeah.
in Dungeons and Dragons, wouldn't he?
If I
As
play
what?
the oh yeah, I shouldn't play the push the point soundboard. should I?
No,
'Cause that will
do not
actually
do
show.
that, please.
It won't show up on a We've got to push the point
No, yeah.
soundboard. We'll add it to the
I can't
soundboard.
see it anymore because I'm not a Discord Nitro
Sure.
subscriber.
We'll get a jingle for the
Anyway,
mailbag.
my really
the
relevant
mailbag.
question here is
What's
from
that?
one of our patrons called James,
Yeah.
who said, "Do we think Fab needs a casual format, be that a co-op, a PVE, a
swear we've
more
answered
fleshed
this
out
question.
UPF,
I swear
or something
this
else?
question has been answered. And James
However,
right.
we are now seeing cards like United We Stand, which do suggest that a PVE is coming."
I mean,
Well, we knew
Simon,
this.
we've been seeing cards that suggest the PVE is coming for a long
Everfest.
time.
You say that.
Since Everfest, it's been like
say
all those
that.
potions.
Bombs.
I'm like, right, well, these
all-
are clearly.
Ever since Kano said target hero rather than target opponent,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Well, that was
it's-
UPF. Yeah,
Yeah,
of course, it's going to be a casual format. James has said on multiple occasions they're doing articles based around casual formats. They are teeing up this stuff.
That
and then,
wasn't-
as United
I'm
We
sorry
Stand.
to be a pedant.
Yeah,
what?
wasn't quite
That
what
wasn't the
James's
question.
question. Does it need
Does the
a
game
casual
need a casual format?
Yes.
Not is there one coming? Does
Yeah,
it need
Why
one?
not? Because one of the biggest things, I swear we've said this last time, one of the biggest things is that it is quite 1v1 competitive. Like, no matter what you do, if you show up with a board game and it's 1v1, there's a winner and a loser. But what you really want is something where all of you are kind of working together in a way, or something that is not so direct one-on-one. This game is very complex, very strategic, and deck building and all that sort of stuff matters. UPF is far more toned down, but I think they can do better. And I think that PvE stuff fits in very nicely because this game has this extreme, like,
Do you see it as something
D&D
a bit
feel
like
to it?
Arkham Horror style gameplay, where
well,
there's
it's not
three
going
or
to be
four of
Arkham
you.
Horror, but yeah,
No,
3 or
but
4
there's-
of you versus the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll probably be a bit more dungeon crawler, maybe.
yeah,
where
Yeah, I
they'll
expect
go-
it to be dungeon crawly.
Yeah, which is fine. You go,
but-
here's your sub boss, and here's a big boss, and then if you beat the big boss in your local store, here's your supplementary pack for. I think Everfest is awesome. Where you go, all right, cool. You get 2 packs for your group, and then whatever cards you get
Yeah.
out of that, it's kind of like your experience buff or
yeah.
item
You add a bit
loot.
more.
And you go, cool, and maybe there's promos that are like little item loots or something, and then you can actually go, cool, I'm going to use that to build up my thing. Next, you can buy 3 packs ready, for you can literally use packs as experience points to build up. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to say that I'm a games developer or anything, but it sounds pretty fucking cool. So you should hire me.
It's basically like Slay the Spire, right? That's how we.
Well,
Well,
gonna live in
whatever. So,
Australia.
someone's come up with something that is very similar.
A deck builder, dungeon crawl type thing would work very nicely. but-
Yeah, LSS took a long time before they released this game to make this game, and it's bloody good. It's really good. So it's fine if they want to take that amount of time with a team and an idea to set up something really good. And if they can pull this out the bag, and it'll take a little bit of time once it gets going.
Do you
could
see
something major, really successful, something that will just be completely two different avenues. Like when you see people play Magic the Gathering Modern and Commander, they are two different segments of the world.
Do you see there being an issue with releasing PvE, solely PvE cards in expansion booster sets? Do you see people getting annoyed with that?
Well, I think those people need to get a grip, because at the same time they release pure shit that is just for competitive.
I was going to say they basically already do that.
Yeah,
Like,
they do.
basically
They already
release cards that are just obviously not going to be in a meta deck,
No.
but they would be interesting from PvE. Like they literally released a legendary that is basically just a PvE card,
Silver Pass.
or like an ultimate pit fight card, and people didn't want to open it, but I didn't see people being like the game is dying because they printed a legendary that's mainly for PvE. So
Let me just
They
pull the
made-
pin out of
they
my
made
other
some-
grenade and
They
throw it
made,
in.
yeah, I know, but that's fine. Like they made Diabolical Ultimatum, a card that when you read it, you went, and this is never going to be played ever,
But it's a majestic, Hamir.
Oh, soul food, woo! It's like
Diabolical
Dolphin's coming
Ultimatum
back.
might see play.
no, yeah,
It's
sure. It's like,
ally. That's the ally killer, right?
yeah, it's ally.
So
or-
that's debatable.
maybe it's
right?
debatable, but my point is that a lot of these designers, and I remember talking to Carol and at Worlds, and they said, and even James said in an interview, they deliberately make crap cards. It's fine, and it's not even just them. Every company is, and even of all the games I've played, something has to be.
Yeah, not every card can be a banger, right?
No,
Like,
so
there'd be too
what's
much power creep.
So why didn't you just do something really clever, right? Why don't you just make, rather than just wasting ink and cardboard, why don't you just make those cards that you would have probably said, this is probably a toned down Guardian card or toned down Runeblade card, and make a really interesting, cool PvE card. And then at least you could look at it and go, oh, that's really cool for PvE. And then the next card is, oh, that's actually really good for my deck. So you're actually making two good cards.
Two for the price of one, you might say.
Yeah, exactly. Rather than wasting print, and then you go, cool, I guess I've got my one good card from the set. Do you know what I mean? Like there's
No,
slots
I
to
agree
fill.
completely,
What's
mate.
what's
fill
your
them with
what's
PvE. Sorry,
what's
that's
your
my
other
point.
what's your other hand grenades?
No.
Toss it.
No, I'm
That
not
was,
gonna
that
do
was
it. I'm not
James's
gonna-
hand grenade. Maybe
All
we
I'm
should
going to
move on.
say is I completely agree that to continue the game's growth and get long-term success, I think there needs to be a casual format. It has become a very highly competitive game, and you will lose people at a local level if there's nothing they can do with their cards because they keep getting beaten every week.
Saying
Alright.
that, it's going to take time when that happens, and it
I'm
won't be up to LSS. LSS just needs to simply make the game. It's up to the community of whether they want to play it.
There's some really interesting formats that people are just making. Like I was chatting to someone in the like Canterbury community. They made basically it was like a 1v1 Kano game where essentially you share a deck and you're all just like blind Kanoing against
No
each
way.
other
Well, that's
and layering stuff on stuff, and you start with like certain equipment, and you start with like you can like you get like a potion of deja vu, so you can like put cards on the top of the deck
Oh
in
my
response
goodness.
to someone
my day.
Kanoing. So
All right.
they think they're going to Kano something, and then you put something on the top of the deck and they Kano that. And it's like that's the sort of stuff that this game can do because
Yeah.
there's so many layers to
Yeah,
Well,
that.
literally.
they've made the rules Well, it just takes some clever clogs to just sort of like here's the world we've set. Here's the sandbox.
Yeah, like
Make your
I
game.
feel like
That's what League of
everyone's
Legends
No
did.
stranger to love, Hamish. You
That's
know
what
the
that's how
rules,
Commander
and
came
so do
about.
I.
Someone just made up a format and called it
Yeah.
whatever it's called, and then
And everyone's
Magic went,
like,
that's fucking really good.
Does Flesh and Blood TCG need a casual format? And it's like, yeah, but LSS doesn't need to make it. Like LSS just needs to say,
Okay.
this is a format that we. LSS needs to be more like.
Well,
fine
if
with
anyone's
people
actually
just
come up with something
running
really
whatever they
good.
want for their armor.
All right,
it's
leave
like-
it on that point.
Yeah,
leave it on
yeah.
that point.
That's a deal.
Okay, next question.
That's the next question.
I've got one from Twitter, from Aaron Newson. Which of you would travel to New Zealand if there was an event down here? Where's top of your list of travel destinations for Fab if you could choose?
If it was in
Oh,
New
well, it's
Zealand,
got to be New Zealand. isn't
in
it?
2024, I would go.
I would
say
go.
that.
Um,
If it was this year, if say Worlds, I wouldn't go. And the main problem is LSS would need to tell us like a year in advance that like
Yeah.
this year Worlds is going to be in New Zealand, right? Just
But
come
I
on and
reckon
say
they could
2025
because they actually have
it's gonna
full
be in New
control.
yeah,
over
like
New
I
Zealand.
genuinely, if
Probably
they were
could.
like this year, everyone, we're just going to tell you now a year in advance. We don't know where in New Zealand it's going to be, but Worlds is going to be in New Zealand in like 2025.
It's going to be
for
cheap.
example.
It'd be cheap because
I'd be there.
there's plenty of people in New Zealand that will turn around and go, "We'll host us up." And I know that Mr. Penny would sort
Well,
us
there you
out.
put words in his mouth.
Hamish,
but
I think you're speaking for people who might not have space to put up. Anyway,
Well, maybe you
if-
can at least
if
get a hotel
Worlds-
and just book a flight and go. I don't care
if
where.
Worlds-
It's
but
not
if
a very
it was
big
like-
New
country.
Zealand
but if
last
if-
year, I would have
but-
been there. Like,
but
I'd already sorted it with family. Like, we were going to go on a family holiday. So yeah, I think New Zealand, for most people that aren't in New Zealand, Australia area, it's a destination where you can probably book a couple of weeks and take the family. Like, you could probably make a trip out of it. So if Worlds was in New Zealand, I think next year, for example, end of 2024, I think I'd be there.
But it would need to be LSS would need to tell us like in January
Yeah.
that it's going to be because
Flights
it's
and
getting
stuff
time
would
off,
be-
getting time off work because you're not going to go for a week. You've got to go
Yeah,
for
you
2
need to go
weeks
for 2 weeks.
minimum, and that's a lot to ask from work. It's a lot of money, but if they did, if I'd be there, I'd always
What's
want
the
to go to New
alternative?
Zealand.
It's New Zealand. If you had to pick a place, would it be New Zealand? Because I think my second sort of one would probably.
Where's the top of
Yeah,
your list?
where's
Top-
your second one? Because I think I've got a good.
I think
Where's your
I
second one?
genuinely think that everyone's going to pick this one.
Yeah,
I don't know. I could be wrong. It'll be Japan.
I think
Japan is
Tokyo
my
would be
number
great.
3.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Tokyo
well,
or Osaka.
My
okay.
my number 2 is Singapore. I would love to go. To
It's
Okay.
really
But
weird.
They've just had a calling in Singapore.
Yeah.
You didn't
It's
go
really
for
Yeah,
that.
weird. I've
so
never
I-
had a desire.
Well, yeah, sorry, apparently, yeah. It's not exactly. I'll just pop over to Singapore for
Why
the
not?
day.
Yeah,
for the
no,
Why
I know
not?
what you mean.
it's like a
Flesh and
16-hour
blood,
flight.
flesh and
or
blood
something.
singles. Did. No,
Yeah, fair play though.
yeah, fair play to them.
I don't know how many hours flight is, but I would Japan.
Should jump in with them.
like, I'd be more than happy to go to Japan for one, but it's just a lot of money.
I think number 4 on the
Oh,
list.
if money
would be
wasn't an
Brazil.
issue, God, yeah. But I'm just
You know
saying,
what my number 2 is?
if you could just go
Birmingham.
for free, Birmingham,
Birmingham.
yeah.
No, I think
Hour
Brazil
down the
would be
road.
number 4 on my, like New Zealand, Japan, Singapore's a good one. I like that, but also Brazil.
Yeah, it's really weird. I've never had a my knowledge of Singapore is really shallow. Like I'm just there's
It's a
certain
very
areas of the
small
world
country.
where I'm just like I don't know, just
You know what?
Alright,
I'd also be
Next
up
question.
for
Next
Hawaii.
question.
Oh,
Oh,
Hawaii.
yeah. But,
Yeah,
but
or
New
Barbados.
Zealand, surely
Yeah.
New Zealand is going to win because it's the home of the game, and we all want to go to the home of the game.
We all like,
and then we can all
want-
pile into
I
the
hope-
LSS HQ.
Right.
I hope LSS just takes one and
Shut
just
up,
says
Trent.
it's going to be in New Zealand. Because if they feel like they can't do it because it's like no one's going to want to go, I think they'd be really surprised how many people.
Oh,
would-
everyone! They know
would
everyone
do
want to
it.
go. I just don't think they actually have the
It wouldn't- it-
facilities to deal
it
with the
wouldn't
amount
feel
of
right.
people.
It
It's
wouldn't
from
feel right.
Andrew Rayner.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Andrew Rayner. Oh no, are we going down? Are we going down the fun questions now?
This is a fun question.
All right,
Yeah,
go
this-
for
we're
it. All
mixing
right,
it
yeah,
in.
mix. All right, okay.
Who's your favourite Spice Girl?
Sporty Spice. She did a backflip.
Sporty Spice is my favourite.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
don't
is
have
it?
a favorite.
Yeah.
I don't
Come
have
on.
a favorite Spice Girl.
No,
I
come on,
don't.
you-
I was not around. This is before my time.
kidding me?
Oh, no, Trick. Come on, you know who
I
they
was
are.
not-
Pick
I-
one.
I don't really know who any of them are.
What do you mean? You know who they
There's
are.
One that's married to David Beckham.
No. Just
He's not taking the Spice Girls in their prime either. Like he's talking
No, I
about what
don't.
they are now.
Simon, were you the same as me when you saw Sporty Spice did that?
Oh,
Yeah,
she was the
and
best.
she
Like,
did the
it was
backflip.
close between Ginger Spice and Sporty Spice. But
Yeah,
Sporty Spice
a lot of
won.
my mates were into like Baby Bloody Spice, and it was just. Yeah.
I also have a birthday on the same day as Sporty Spice.
Well, also Sporty Spice's surname is Chisholm,
That's true. That'd be weird.
and
if she
then
was your sister.
and Scary Spice's surname is Brown. So there you go. And I used to turn around
Wow.
and say Sporty Spice is like related to me somehow.
I'm sorry, I just don't have.
She's also had the best musical
an
career out
answer,
of all of
so-
them.
What Sporty?
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go. Sporty Spice. Back to
Sorry,
that.
Andrew.
Easy.
I'll do my research.
He wouldn't even.
before
He wouldn't even roll a dice. This is
I
how.
know. This one's from Darren Hazelden,
Yeah.
a patron of our esteemed podcast.
These are all
What-
patrons. So
What
thank you.
heroes? Well, Aaron Newsom wasn't a patron. That was
Oh, sorry,
Twitter.
That's the only Twitter comment.
What heroes look poised to be dark horses or top tier with Dust till Dawn release? What underrated players do you think will have a breakout performance at the Birmingham Calling?
Cheeky boy put in 2. Well, that's down
I
for
know.
you.
Well, there is a third, but I'll save that until
Let's
you've given your
start
first
with the
chance.
underrated heroes.
I think
Okay.
that's a really hard one to say because
Which dark horses have we got?
Bolton. There you go. I'm just gonna say Bolton.
I mean, we knew that. Yeah.
I think he's the dark horse. Maybe it's easy to say Bolton or Levio, right?
It is.
But I think if you think of a dark horse, they come into your head. So that's
I'm trying
my
to
answer.
think what was.
I wonder.
Can
if...
I have a cheeky answer? Which
Are
is
you going to steal my answer?
I was going to say. So this
Probably.
is not a dark horse, which is Lexi, but I think
Okay. All right.
pure ice Lexi, because I remember pure ice Lexi being around during Prism chain time and getting numbers.
Why would
But-
she turn
but-
into pure ice?
Just because of the disruption against the. Because I'm expecting. So my prediction is that I'm expecting Vincent to be pretty good, and I think the ice disruption is pretty good. So
I don't
I'm
think
just gonna,
ice is-
I'm just gonna say ice Lexi because I just think that's a rogue choice, right?
That is a wild card choice.
that
Welcome, baby!
happens,
Woo!
come back to
Jumps
me.
out the van.
I'm going to say I think the Runeblade cards released in this set are going to be ridiculously good. And therefore, Briar is going to make an absolute resurgence.
No, I don't think so.
Look, let's not count this out, right? Briar's got like literally.
She's
just,
got two fronts
yeah,
she can win on
she
here.
could-
She's got the Elemental front and she's got the Runeblade
Well, no, she
front.
just needs to win one.
She did get the new
event.
Earth card as well, which is actually pretty decent.
It would be funny though,
Ooh.
and I actually feel that Briar will remain in the entire set all the way through to ProQuest because that'll be that one event where one person goes, "Yeah, I won that one event with Briar." Okay, cool. She's living legend, everyone. Hey! But she won't win any major callings or battle hardens or worlds or anything, because
It's
the
tough,
same
isn't it?
same
It's-
people that kick her ass are still
Do
here.
you think there will
No,
be
'cause she
any
might win
underrated
nationals.
players that
Well, she might win. a
form
national.
at Birmingham?
Hmm?
The real
Underrated
question
players.
is who is an underrated player
Yeah, that is a good.
in this world of flesh and blood?
I
Like,
mean, there's going to be easily around.
I've got one.
I would
I've
say
got one on the tip of my tongue.
who?
Who?
Lila Green.
Oh,
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, what? Okay,
That's fair.
fine. I'm gonna throw my hat in there and say the absolute goblin dog shit man himself, Sharif.
There's the fact that
boomer.
Sharif is underrated is amazing. No,
Boomer,
No,
Sharif.
it is true.
Yeah, but he
Um,
is underrated now because he's not been.
He doesn't play as much. Yeah.
You know,
he's
he
not,
had a
he's not been
terrible
travelling
showing at the
internationally, though.
Nationals. Last
But he's not
year.
been travelling internationally
No,
because
so I think he might just break
He can't.
through. I think he might break through,
Yeah.
and everyone will be like, "Oh, who's this guy?"
only the first UK player to get to 1,000 XP.
Go on, Trip. If you had to pick
I'm gonna
someone,
say the new Jason guy. You know the guy who's like
the
top
new
of the
Jason.
XP.
new
The one that
Jason.
everyone is like, who's Jason?
Who's Jason Rolfe?
Jason Rolfe. I'm gonna put it out there now. I think Jason Rolfe will do well. He's putting the
No, hang on.
time in.
Who's Jason Rolfe?
Who's Jason Rolfe?
Is that a
You'll
serious
find
question?
out. You get calling
Winding you up.
Birmingham. You know what?
What? You
Darren.
know what?
Darren,
Darren.
you're gonna do. You're a bloody. You win a
That's what he wanted
surprisingly
to
large
hear.
number of tournaments.
Yeah, for a guy
You-
that he came 9th in the last nationals. You know, let's not
Yeah,
forget with Levia.
yeah. I actually 100%. I picked Darren. I think Darren
It's
is
the
actually gonna
underrated winner.
could do it.
Yeah.
If he picks a bloody good hero,
Yeah, I know,
Stop playing
I know.
this jank, Darren, and actually play something good.
Okay, next question.
Jeez.
All right. This one is from our friend Sharif, who you've just been
What?
Hi,
Goblin
Barry.
Shitlord.
You're underrated.
boomer.
The underrated Goblin Shitlord Sharif.
Yeah.
Go for
Other-
it.
Other than Starvo, which other hero do you think should never have been printed? And you cannot give a non-answer.
I don't think that Starvo should never have been printed.
No.
I think Starvo taught us all some very important
I think
lessons.
it taught the actual. I think it taught
the
LSS
game designers some really
questions.
important. Which hero should never have been printed? That's a really great question. I'm going to keep
Oh,
talking
that's a-
while I can tell that you guys are thinking.
Well,
too.
I think I don't.
I know. I have a good answer. I think Arachne, add-on
Whoa,
Arachne,
hang on,
should never have been
why?
printed. Because I don't think there should be a mechanic in the game that makes me touch my opponent's deck.
Yeah, that is good.
And that is my answer.
Well,
And
you
I
don't
know
have to.
they
You
can
just pick
do.
up the
I
card
know
and
they
show.
can do it, but I just think that should not be in the game. I should not have. You should never be touching your opponent's cards like as part of the game.
Can
mechanic.
I?
That is
Can
my
I?
answer.
I'm going to put more than one in.
Yep.
Every Tales of Aria hero.
I'm going to be more specific. 'Cause I don't think Oldham should have been printed.
It's really difficult because I think I think there was a period where
I'm a Castle player.
Monarch, Tales of Aria, and Everfest was a very wild year where they were locked down in COVID,
It really
and I
was.
think that they just kind of just went and put the pedal on the gas to understand for themselves what does power mean, and they printed some cards that were very powerful, and then thrown it to all of us and went, okay, yeah, now we understand what really powerful shit means. So now we've got a bar of what really powerful shit means. So I don't think that anything is going to get as wild because they know what the bar is now because they did it. They put it out there. They published it.
Yeah, fair point.
So
the other thing I was going to
but
say
Tales of Aria
is
Heroes is
uh,
yeah.
I don't think all Tales of Aria heroes. It's very easy to do a cop out answer here and say that actually most of the time it's not the hero that's the issue; it's the cards that
It's
are printed.
yeah.
But I do think the exception to that is Oldham. It's because they
No, I think
basically
Savo is
No,
the one.
Starvo-
His hero
Starvo is
ability was
Starvo's beside the
bullshit
point.
bonkers.
If we're talking about Tales heroes, they pretty much took everything from Oldham, apart from Crown of Seeds.
Well,
They took so much away from him, and at the end of the day, the
He was
hero
still
ability
Can I
to
counter
prevent
argument?
damage and not lose a card from your deck.
Can I
was too
counter
strong.
argument here and say
That's fair
Briar?
enough. And that's great.
Because they literally errated Briar. Like Oldham,
I think
they
like,
went.
sure,
they,
like
Oldham, they went.
but I think
maybe
after
we need
the-
to adjust this. Briar, they went. What the fuck? You've got 3 embodiment tokens? Okay, this is a bit
yeah,
silly.
but after the errata, I don't think Briar was an issue.
yeah, but
I
no, but
think
Arata's
that's a fair-
printed
that's a-
version was crazy, and they've never errated a hero ever.
Yeah, but they should have. They couldn't really errata Oldham, I don't think.
No, because Oldham's wasn't broke. His hero ability wasn't broken. It was.
But I think it turned
Still
out
it-
to be. It turned
Yeah.
out to be just as.
you just
broken.
put. It
Maybe
turns
not-
out you put Autumn's Touch blue in, and
Yeah, it just was too
That
much.
was it.
It just.
it
It was
wasn't
just
too
annoying.
much. It was just. It was more.
It was
Crown of
too
Se-
much.
It was
It
Crown of
was-
Seeds. Crown of
No,
Seeds.
it was the Earth React and the Ice React were too much. It was too. It was too.
They didn't
good
even put the
to be
Ice
good.
React in the end. It was just Autumn's Touch, just so they can block for 2. So,
But it's just the Earth React.
but
I
his
think
hero
that
ability
proved to be
wasn't
too
that
much.
bad. They didn't errata
No, it was. It was. It was
What?
that bad.
Briar was insane.
Briar was
Simon,
insane,
you
and they
remember
fixed-
the days
they
when you
fixed
could just
Briar,
block
but
for
they
7
should've-
with one
The Earth React
card.
was too strong.
One non-attack action blocking.
Yeah,
for
you could
6
just
was
block
the
with
best.
Channel Mountain Heroic for 7 or something ridiculous, and you go, yeah, your turn.
Crown of Seas was obviously a huge problem as well, but the Earth React was too good at making sure that you just never ran out of cards, and you were
I'm
just
gonna
always
put-
able to prevent damage and keep cards in deck.
They should never have printed Briar's unerrated form. They should have just printed Briar's
Yeah, that's
errated
fair.
form. There you go. There's my question.
But they
do.
fixed Briar.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying. Well, I'm being technical. Here. Right. What's
They
the
should
next
have fixed
question?
All right. Next question from Jason Hamer. If Hamish, Simon, and Trip enter the Thunderdome, who would leave?
Okay, so Trip didn't know the Spice Girls. What's the Thunderdome?
This is from Mad Max.
Mad Max Thunderdome.
I only watched one Mad Max, and that's the one. That's the one with Tom
I've only-
Hardy in it.
The newest one is very good.
Yeah, it was very good.
Oh,
And when you say the
Road.
newest one, that's
Yeah,
it's
Fury
now
Road.
old.
It's so good though. If
Yeah,
you haven't
yeah.
seen Fury Road,
Yeah, it's brilliant. So, what is the Thunderdome? What's the rules?
Like
Basically,
fight
we
to
just
death, right?
like say like if it was a fight to the death between the three of us, who would win?
Me.
I don't think you would.
Do you
win.
reckon?
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I think me and you would lose, and Simon would,
Well, why would you think Simon would win?
because he's a lot fitter than we are. He would just outlast us.
Okay, so what's Simon going to do to kill me?
He's just gonna run away from us for about 20 minutes.
No,
we
no, no.
get tired.
I don't have to chase
and then he
him.
kills
I
us.
won't chase him.
Well, then what are you gonna do? You're just gonna sit on your arse for like
That's
20
all I
minutes?
do.
I genuinely think
I've
you
got
couldn't beat
natural
Simon in a
strength.
fight.
Natural strength.
You have zero strength.
not-
I'm out. I'm dead. I'm just put
Just
myself
sit-
out of this right now.
I'll walk up
If
to
I
you
can-
because you're
I've-
too lazy to move.
I'm just gonna sit on. I'm gonna sit on the
So who's
ground.
killing
I'm gonna
you?
say, guys, just make it quick.
Do it quickly.
I'm done. I'm not gonna win.
All
I'm
right,
not gonna
okay,
win.
so-
I think if it's between you two, I think Simon would beat
What
you in a
weapons have
fight.
we got? Do we have any ranged weapons? Is
No,
it all
just your
melee?
hands.
Just your hands.
No, you got nothing. You just got your wiles.
rock.
Simon's taller than
He's
me.
got reach. He's got
Hamish
reach
is
on you.
basically going to fondle me and then get me to submit. That's what he's going to. He's going to freak me out
I
by
think
touching my junk.
Simon, I've learned through my wife that the taller you are, the heavier you are. Right. That doesn't sound good, but the more taller you are, the more bone mass you have. So my brother, he's very skinny. He's very similar build to Trip. Very
Yeah.
skinny lad, really tall, really fucking heavy. Because the taller you are, the more bone you've got, and he's actually a very heavy.
That is the dumbest. That's the dumbest thing I've heard in my life. The taller you are, the more
The more mass you have. You've got more mass.
I can't even say it. Have you seen me? Are you
Yeah,
saying? like,
I'm just saying you're
I'm
heavier than you
heavier.
look.
I'm actually.
How
No,
much
but
does
you-
Trip weigh? Like 80
Okay, I don't want to go down
I,
that. How much do people
I
weigh?
genuinely don't think I weigh. I think I weigh like 11 stone. Honestly.
Well,
I'm
that's
a light-
heavy.
That's not heavy at all.
It is.
That's so light.
Well,
How much do you weigh?
19.
No, you don't have that. Don't have to ask that question. But
Wait,
yeah,
how much?
I'm 19 stone.
You serious?
Yeah.
maybe
You
Hamish
carry,
would
you
win.
carry that well. Yeah.
I a lot of I know. I am 19 stone. So I know that the
One
only
stone, that's
reason
a
the only
bit.
reason I know I'm all right because we did when I went to this castle with my friend, right? We had played this game. We just actually saw a natural ring in the grass. So we played a sumo game,
You do
right?
some sumo.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
did some sumo. Of course you did. You see a ring in the grass, it's sumo time. So he was sort of playing with the kids. And then me and him were like two fosters in. So
Fosters, Jesus.
well, no,
Christ.
dude, we had to take
Okay.
cheap shit beard
Okay.
on the way. So, and then he was like, he's like an army lad, and he ran and tried to shove me, and he hurt his shoulder.
Wow.
So I know I'm sitting there going, I've got weight behind me. So that's my only thing. I think Simon will come at me. He'll go, you know what, fuck it. I think I've got him. And he'll just run into a wall. I'm like an old him. And they'll be like, right.
I just think
You have
he'd
now been
outlast
caught
you.
into my trap. And then I'll just pin that fucker down. And
My survival strategy is to never allow myself to be in the situation.
Trip,
where
you would
physical-
Don't
be
go to
you'd
the
be late.
Physical
You'd be late to the
physicality
Thunderdome.
is exactly like if
You
I've
should just
reached the
blow your brains
Thunderdome,
out before you rocked up.
I've already failed on my strategy, which is to never be in that situation.
They'll
in
just
the
turn
first
around
place.
and be like, okay, so we have Simon, he'll show up, and then here's Hamish, and then they'll just wheel Trip in. It's a corpse because he's already killed himself.
I literally would if that was.
That
I
was a
wouldn't
really
give you
good
the
question.
satisfaction.
That was a really
Great
good
question.
question. Well, Simon,
I
hang
think
on, before
Simon,
we go,
Simon, what do you
Simon,
think? What do you think?
Yeah, what do
Simon?
you think? And how much do you weigh?
I weigh 16 stone.
Do you? See?
So 100
That's
kilos.
that's all muscle, baby. That's all
100
muscle.
kilos. What's
That's
100
all
kilos
in the
in
lower
stone?
half.
It's all mustache, baby.
It's all mustache. I think I'd take you, Hamish.
Yeah, I think you
Ooh,
would too.
I think you'd actually punch because I don't
Well-
like punching. You'd actually punch me in the face, and I'd be like,
No, I-
Guys, if
I
you
don't
want
think I
to,
would.
if you want to find the answer to this question, Friday
said I
night,
can punch
calling
you.
Birmingham. We're going to be in the Weatherspoons at the NEC. We're going to
That's
throw
it.
down.
Boom.
We're going to find out who would win in a fight between Hamish and Simon. Make sure you get your ticket.
I'm
We'll
bringing a
get the
bottle of whiskey.
£1.25
so I
pint
can
of
ignore
beer that
pain.
Spoons sell, and it's
And-
going to be a great night for everyone. We're going to see who's
Talking
going to
about-
win.
the call in Birmingham. We're going to finish on this last question.
No, what? We got more.
It's like we've been talking for over an hour.
I don't care. This is this could be a long one.
This is our last question.
No,
Right,
This is
okay,
the
okay.
last
Another
question we've
beer.
got.
I'll pour a
This
small
is
more.
no. I've,
a little
I've
bit
been
more
through
wine.
all the questions.
Oh, we don't have that many friends. Go on. What's the last one?
Hamish is drunk already.
I am.
He's had one beer. Couldn't
No,
even
I had
open
two.
one.
This is from David Dyson.
Oh,
David
how-
Dyson. Also, congratulations to David Dyson. Also qualified.
Yeah, he also grind to the finish line.
Fellow
How
grinder.
do you feel about the evolution of the community?
Mm.
Previously, it felt
I'm
like
definitely getting
we
another
knew
beer.
most people at
Great
events.
question.
I attended now at the events I attend now is probably down to like 30 to 40%.
It's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. Like I'm the same, though. I know everyone again now because it has been like that. There's especially in London where I know Dyson he doesn't live in London, but he's close to the London community. We get a lot of new players that coming into the game on a regular basis, and it's really good. And what I really like is how the players that were new when I was playing, like I've been around for a while, and the new players are now doing really well. And I think so. It's like you saying, Simon, earlier about the casual PvE format and people getting sick of just losing all the time.
Yeah.
I do want to say, like, not that these players lost all the time, but they lost a lot of the time, and I think they would be fine with me saying that. But they've come through that, and now they are regularly top 8ing. They have formed their own testing groups. They've formed their own mini sub communities amongst themselves because they were like, we don't want to keep losing. What can we do about it?
We need to get better.
And
yeah.
you get better, and you look at someone like Shamir, who we did interview with recently, may have come out, maybe coming out soon. When I was talking to Sean.
You're editing it. It's not coming out for another month.
No, Sean's editing it, so it will come
okay.
out.
Okay.
And,
I've got hope.
And when me and Sean were saying we used to play Shamir a lot, and we used to win a lot when we used to game. I remember when Jamie Faulkner started playing the game, we used to win a lot. And now these are some of the best players in the UK, and it's like
if not the world, right? They perform.
If not the world,
if not the world, world players.
Just missed winning in for top 8, top 4. Jamie,
Same with Matt Fox. I remember him starting. We were like, just.
I gave Matt Fox
time I played Matt Fox. He was on Dash at Bash. He played Dash at RTN Bash. Yeah.
I've never lost to Matt Fox in CC. Or draft, for that matter.
I've never. No, in fact, I'm 1-0 against Matt Fox because he did rock up with 2 chain starter decks and put them together. So, and he didn't even have a rune champ, but that's pretty typical of him. And I put Lent in mine, and I
remember him coming to Darksphere, and I gave him a play set of Plunderons, I think, because he was new to the game. They ended up being very good for his.
Well done, Trey. It's your fault.
My fault.
You're like, they're my Plunderons.
But to answer Dyson's question, like I actually think
it's a massive positive.
If you're not in with the UK community, like we had a big upheaval where we basically moved Discords after there was a lot of drama in the Discord. But I do think that movement has brought people together, and it's like cooled down a bit now. There was a big flurry of activity on the new Discord, and it's still buzzing, but like it's definitely not as buzzing. Well, it's settled a bit.
It was heartening to see people fight for their community. Like it wasn't.
It turns out when you're going to lose something, people give a shit.
It wasn't a crazy big thing, but it was potentially the UK community being sort of run. I say run in a very loose term, overseen by a shop or a card seller, a retailer, should I say? And we'd already had a couple of years of that, and it was starting to show its cracks, right? So when people stood up on their own and said, actually, no, we want this to be independent and we want it to be the community run by the community, it was just awesome to see. And people went out of their way to make that happen.
Yeah, it's been really good. And I honestly wouldn't play this game if it wasn't for the community. And that includes you guys and Push the Point, and it includes our patron supporters, and let's face it, the patron supporters are our friends. A lot of them are our friends, and a lot of them would be our friends if we got to know them because they live in different countries. And like that is the appeal to me. I'm not really in it to win callings or win nationals or whatever. I just love going to tournaments and chatting to people and meeting new people, because it's just such a good way to do that. So yeah, it's good. It is different though. We should recognize that what Dyson is saying is it is strange when you've been going to tournaments and you know everyone, and suddenly you take a bit of time off, and then you're like, oh, it's completely changed. But a lot of the old guard are still there.
More fun people to get to know.
Yeah,
and
100%.
You're going to see some other people with a lot of amazing professions and backgrounds and upbringings and life, stuff going on. That's just going to make you understand more as a better person. And a lot of that is down to I run a club. But when you run a club for 13 years, you see a lot of people with a lot of professions, a lot of backgrounds, a lot of political views, a lot of life upbringings and stuff. And it makes you a lot more of an empathetic person in the real world when you get to see more different people and how they live their life and how they choose to, to live it. That's the best bit. So having more people coming in is great. Even if you have that one anus that's new that shows up, and once it's always the way. It's just a community thing.
Well, we've all got one anus, but I just wanted to say
some of us have two.
Wow.
The fact is that I feel like Fab, like there's a bit of a meme of the like Fab mentality and how we're not as sweaty as other card games, and like we're a bit more empathetic. I do think that I do think the game. I don't have experience with other card games, but I do feel that Fab has a more empathetic personality, and we do have our like really hardcore players, but even the really hardcore players are still. They seem to me more empathetic and more understanding and less stressful to play in. Like some tournaments can get a bit sweaty, but the vast majority of tournaments I play are just relaxed and chilled, and like people are there to win. It's competitive. I think it's something about.
I think it's down to. I honestly think it's the same in every game. And I think it's just down to the age you play.
I don't think it is.
I can tell you from experience.
So it's not the same. It's not the same in every game. If you're saying because certain games attract a different age of player, like so yeah, like I
don't know, dude. Honestly, like I think
maturity.
Exactly. No, I think it's just the mature people in the game are more mature, and the younger people that jump into the game are more immature. I'm literally watching this currently right now. We've got a massive boom of people showing up to play Age of Sigmar on 40k. You've got a load of young people who are wanting to jump into to be competitive, and you've got a load of the old guard that are still being there, and the younger people are very immature in their attitude, and the older guard are a lot more mature. I think it's I think from every game I played, it doesn't feel too different. I don't think you can lump
everyone in on the same thing there. Like there are definitely some younger people who act more mature, and there are definitely some older people who act more immature. And I think
I just feel like from
about
my experience,
having a culture.
It is about culture.
It's not about individuals. It's about the culture that the game brings and the way the game is played. And we've all, again, I'm not into lots of different card games, but we've all heard stories of Yu-Gi-Oh players getting a bit overexcited
but I go to these places and I've seen a load of Yu-Gi-Oh players that rock up, and I honestly feel like they would have been dudes I would have seen in Fab. They would have, in Magic, they're dudes I would have seen in Fab, and in Fab, there's dudes I'm like, oh my god, I've seen you're the anus I've seen in Yu-Gi-Oh.
I'm not saying you wouldn't. I just think the culture of the game so far hasn't allowed those personalities to flourish, and usually they leave the game because they're not getting what they want out of it, which is someone to react to what they're trying to do.
Maybe I think the only point I think that I'll concede to that you're right is that because this is the smaller game. Like Magic the Gathering and 40k and everything, I like the big game. They're the ones that you're going to constantly see people know they're going to bounce back to no matter what, because the game is never going to go anywhere. It's literally indestructible because it's literally everywhere. Waterstones sell bloody Magic and Pokemon, so you know you're going to get your community no matter what. So the community can be as awful as they like, but the game will never die because of it. Whereas Fab is so much smaller. It has to, the community has to be a lot more well behaved. So I will concede to that point.
All
I
right.
just think I just find it more comfortable. And like Fab, I think that the competitive nature of Fab and the fact it's very low, I would describe Fab as low variance as well. I think Lens get, and something about the gameplay flow of Fab leads to a lot less salt, where like even if you're losing really badly, there's a point where you do something really big because your opponents are basically keeping the whole hand to kill you.
Well,
And
yeah,
life totals always often even out to the point where the game appears close when it wasn't. But there's
Yeah.
something
Well, every
about
card
that
does-
makes you think, well, oh, I got them down to 3.
Yeah.
Oh,
was
well,
close.
it's like you were never winning that game, but like at least you could be like, I got them down to 3. Okay, I can
because
go
every
away.
card-
It's
It's because
yeah.
every card matters, and when you play
Yeah.
other games, you know, if you played Magic, you could just go, "Oh, I hope I don't draw a land." There's a land.
But that's the thing. I can see how the
40k
salt.
is. I rolled a double 1.
Yeah,
you
but
know,
that's
or
where
whatever.
salt comes from. That's where people getting salty comes from. Is like bad beats, right? And Fab,
Well, Fab has got
doesn't-
plenty of bad beats, but it's
fine,
less
but it-
bad beats.
Before we go into a spiral talking about the negative, I want to finish on the positive, which is that actually I think this community is amazing.
Oh, yeah,
and
of
we have
course it
seen
is.
multiple
Agreed.
examples of that. So we've been running well over an hour now. I want to start wrapping up. I want you all to go and look at the last couple of weeks of content that we've put out, because I think Hamish has done an incredible job of keeping
We
things
all
ticking
have.
over.
We all have.
Sean has done an incredible job of streaming some RTNs, which you should definitely go and watch. Classic battles are being released every week in the next few weeks. And if you want to see some stream games, go and check out my last 2 Organised Play EU streams where I played
We've
some
all
solid
been-
games.
We've all been pushing
Yeah,
out
we've all
content.
picked it
Trip
up
has
a
been
bit.
taking care of these classic battles.
Classic
Simon,
battles,
you've been
amazing.
doing the streaming, and I've managed to bag a couple of interviews. So
Yeah.
good. And it honestly, a good time to be a patron as well. We've got loads of fun things coming up. We've got loads of early access stuff in.
And you get your 5% discount at Living Realms, our partners.
Yeah, it's a new set
Just at the
coming
Dawn.
out. So just guys, like I can't say this enough. You will literally
You will
save
make
money.
You will literally
Like,
save.
I
so
I
much
feel
money.
like sometimes I'm just like, guys, just do it for a month. Hell, fuck it. Like, why not?
But then,
like, I'd do
but
it.
even, but
For
even
the
then,
Dust to Dawn discount, stay for the push
But
point.
obviously stay. But
Yeah.
just if you're gonna buy from LR, just
yeah, you might as well be a patron. at this point.
consider it.
But even if you're a fan of Metal Fab tokens, we've got something in the works of where we're trying to plan of making sure we can get some tokens distributed over to the UK easily. It's still being worked out, but as a partner of Metal Fab tokens, we're also trying to work out of how we can kind of like, if you know of an O2 priority, where if there's some really cool stuff coming out that patrons have pushed the point, we'll be able to order in some of the stuff earlier. It's still being worked out. It's something me and Brandon have had a chat and want that to be the case. So even if you want to be a patron, there's so much benefits to being a patron, plus you're supporting, us. And if you want to support us, it's a good thing to do.
Let's wrap it up, because I love you all, but I'm done.
Yeah, I'm drunk. So
Right. Thanks everyone. Love you all. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.